Hey guys, Mike coming back again with another video. This one, I just got this one back from Myco and SGC. I think I showed it in the last video. It's a 1970 Topps Candy Lid Test Issue, graded by PSA. I believe it was a 4.5. I sent it to SGC, and it actually came back a 4.5, even though I was expecting them to lower it to half grade at least. Is this the typical politics between SGC and PSA right now, or at least that's the way it used to be. But in doing so, and I was getting ready to put things away, I thought, well, maybe I'll bring these back up and go over them one more time since they are updated. This time I'm going to show the Johnny Bench collection during his playing days for most of all the Topps issues. And I'm going to throw in the Donruss and Fleer just because when I was a kid, that was still a big part of collecting, was to get all of them of those years. I'm not going to throw in the specialty sets, but let's go over everything while I got them all together. And we'll start out with his rookie card, 1968 Topps in a 96 mint 9. Beautiful card. I actually bought this while I was at the first national I went to in 2012 or 13. And I didn't buy it at the national. I bought it online while I was at the national. And always glad to get this one. It was already slabbed by SGC as a mint 9. And it's just a beauty. Glad to have that. And we're going to go on through all of them. Here's the 69 Topps in a mint 9. Beautiful card. And this is a 69 All-Star card in a 8.5. Due to centering, this card is extremely hard to find in a mint condition. Still looking to upgrade it, but it's taken a while. And this one is a lower grade, but these stamps, this is 69 Topps stamps. They came off of a little sheet. This one's actually got good clear borders and such. I think the glue on the back's not real great anymore, but for a 6 for now, I've tried submitting a few of these over the years, and it's really hard to get these in a high grade. But I'll keep trying. The 1970 bench is a high number. This one's in a 9 mint. And the Sporting News All-Star from 1970 and an 8. Again, these are tough to find in higher grades. They're always off center. This one's actually centered pretty good. And this is the one I just got back. This is the test issue, 1970 Topps Candy Lid test issue. These were, the PSA has only graded 10 of these. And SGC, this is the first one they've ever graded that I can tell. But really happy to get that. For some reason, the Supers, this is the 70 Super, they put in these huge old slabs, which I'm not very fond of, but that's what SGC does. A nice one in an 8. That's went ahead and put the 71 next to it. That's in an 8 also. Very nice pieces. And then we go on to 71 and an 8. It's a beautiful card. I don't know how I could get any closer to a 9. Barely see any white at all on this thing. But SGC's very tough on those. And this is the home run leaders card. Bench led the league in 1970. And that was his first MVP. Billy Williams and Perez came in second and third. And he also led the league in RBIs. with Perez and Williams coming in second and third reversed. That's another 8. These things get awful pricey when they get 9, so I might upgrade them one day, but these are beautiful cards. SGC doesn't slab these coins, so this is 71 Topps coin and an 8 for PSA. And this is the tough one too. This is the 1971 Greatest Moments and a 6 SGC. These are hard to get in high grade, and they get very pricey. Very glad to have that one. And move on to 72. Got that one in a 9 mint. Fortunate enough to get these early on, for all the craziness of recent years. And here's the in action and an 8. Again, you can tell centering issues are a problem for these. And I don't know if I can afford a 9 anymore, but we'll see what happens. 73 and a 9 mint. Beautiful card. And the 73 home run leaders with Dick Allen. Bench hits 40 home runs in 72. He was the National League MVP for the second time in 72. And the RBI leaders in a 9. Bench had 125 to lead the league. Dick Allen had 113. Bench had surgery in 73. He had a growth on his lung that was removed. And they don't have the techniques they do today. Back then, this is 50 years ago, they had to go through his back and cut through all the muscle on one side to get to the lung area to where the growth was. And they biopsied it and found out it was benign. It wasn't anything malignant. But it took him a long time to recover from the surgery. He still played well for a number of years, but he never got back up to these levels. But he was still, fantastic. Just imagine, maybe he might have won some more MVPs, I think, if he hadn't have to have that surgery. And this is one of my favorite cards of all the Topps issues. This is a 73 for 72 World Series against the A's. It's called Odom out at the plate. Just a classic picture of bench waiting for the ball to get there, and you see Odom bearing down on him. I think that's just a cool card right there. That's in a 9, a mint. And this one is the next game, World Series game. Bench had a home run and that tied up the series in Game 5. Though the A's would go on to win that series. And then we have a 19. I'm missing the 72. Forgot to mention the candy lids. They're all test issues except for this year, 73. This one's in a 7.5. The little tabs there, they're usually, see how it's bent because they're pulled off of the candy container and they all bend right there. So you never see them in mint condition. But that's a pretty good one, 7.5. I forgot to mention, I'm missing the 72. That's one of 3 cards I need to complete out the whole bench run for his playing days. And it's a test issue, so theoretically it was not ever issued as a regular card, but I do put it in the set. So hopefully one day I'll be able to get the 72. But again, this is the 73. And here's a tough one here we're going for. This is the 1973 Topps Pinups. Another test issue. Beautiful design. Lower grade. It's got a little indentation somewhere in this area right here. It's hard to see, and they really knock it down for that. Everything else looks fantastic on them. And these are very pricey now when you even see them. Low pop. So glad to have that one. There is a 1973 Topps Comics, which is also another test issue that I've seen a couple over the years, but they're always very expensive. So after the 72 um, candy lid, the second one I need is the 73 Topps Comics. But the pinups are fantastic. And going on to 74, you got the base or the regular card in an 8.5. I've never been able to get this in a 9. I've crossed over a few over the years of the PSA 9s, and SGC just won't give it a 9. I got this one got an 8.5. They've only graded one SGC 9 on the 74 ever, the last time I checked. So I don't know if I'll ever get that or not, but I'll keep trying. And then we got the 74 All-Star Catchers, bench for the National League and Fisk for the American League. Beautiful card. And then the 74, they had a stamp, alpha sheet. Some people grade the whole sheet. I just like to get the bench off of it. I've submitted a few. The highest I've gotten is a 7 so far. And then 74, they did these decal edge cards. This one's got a gray back. I got that in the 7.5, and I got a white back, which is much, much rarer. I'll flip them over real quick. So that white back is really, really nice, especially in that grade. And you've probably seen some remakes. Topps does a lot of remakes in their current issues. I think they did do a decal edge not too long ago. This is a 74 Topps Puzzle. I think it was another test issue. You can buy these packages that had all the puzzle pieces. SGC, I don't know if PSA does. I guess they do. Back in the day, if you sent them the puzzle completed like this, they would actually slab it as the whole puzzle, and that's very nice. Looks fantastic slabbed up like that. This gets an authentics. Okay, 75. Did a 9 mint. And then the 19, they did a tribute to the MVPs. 1970, it was Bench and Boog Powell. And in 72, it was Richie Allen and Bench for his second MVP. And then they did the run batted in leader was Jeff Burrows for the Rangers and Bench. So he led the National League in home runs and RBIs a few times, in addition to his 2 MVP awards. And that's at 9 also. And then these are all the mini versions. It took me a while, but I finally got the mini version in a 9 mint. Then the 2 MVP cards. I got an 8.5 on the Boog and Johnny, so I need to upgrade that one. That's another one I've had no luck in crossing over. And then the Burrows and Bench runs batted in leaders. I got a 9. Moving on to 76. This is the Bench. Probably my favorite of all the Bench cards. As far as design goes, he's just standing there with a little pile of dust up in the air. I assume someone just scored, and he doesn't look too happy about it. So I just think that's a cool card right there. And then the 76 Topps 75 RBI leaders, where Luzinski Bench came in second that year with 110, and Perez on his heels at 109. And this card shows Bench as the Reds sweep the Pittsburgh in 3 in the 1975 NL National Championship, and it talks about the Red Sox beating the A's, setting up the 1975 World Series. And moving on to 77. When I was a kid, I was born in 65. This card here I was 12 years old when 77s came out. And I got my first job mowing grass, and I bought a ton of these cards. I know, or cello packs from the local drugstore, and I must have opened hundreds of them over that summer. Put together over 2 complete sets and almost a third. That was a lot of fun back then. Every week when my parents went to the grocery, I would run over to Taylor Drugs and sit on the floor and go through their cello boxes, pulling out packs that had the stars on the front that I liked. Any reds, especially if it was a bench. I wish I had kept one. I know I had one, but I don't know where it's at anymore with bench on the cover. And then these are the 2 World Series cards from 77. For the 76 World Series, bench was the MVP. First card is games 1 and 2. Bench started in the second game, and then in the fourth game, he had 2 home runs and wrapped it up and got the MVP for the World Series. Commemorated on this card from 77. All these are in mint 9s. I'm going to go over here. This is a 77 Topps cloth. At 9. Give the glare on these things. And this is the 78 and a mint 9. 79, I was lucky to get a 10. This is a gem mint 10 for 79. And these are, it's actually a proof. This is or unused. This is a 1979 Topps Comics in an 8. These wrappers were wrapped around bubble gum. And this one actually had never been wrapped around a bubble gum before, so it doesn't have all the creases and bends in it and such. So it looks beautiful. And then going over to 80 Topps. I got this one in a gem mint 10. Again, from SGC, 10s are very hard to find. Very low pop on SGC on these. And 81. The 9s are hard on these 81s. Down here by the reds where it says catcher on the red cap, there's always a lot of times little printing lines and such on that. And a lot of times you're not going to get a high grade. I had to submit quite a few PSA 9s. And the reason I keep saying crossing over PSA is a lot of people didn't submit to SGC as much. Either as they weren't as popular, and they were, I think back in the early 2010s, they were a lot harder grader. To me, as I crossed over a lot of cards over the years, PSA was, they give about a half grade lower when they crossed it over, and Beckett they give a whole grade lower on average, I would say. And then on this 81, got that in a gem mint 10, the record breaker. Most home runs by a catcher in lifetime. I guess it was Piazza that broke that later on. 81 Topps scratch-offs, bench and a 9. And Topps stickers, an 81, a 9. And we'll go ahead and show the Donruss, since I just collected. They were, that was a new card, that and Fleer, and they were popular. I got the 81 Donruss and a gem mint 10. And this is the second Donruss in a 9. They had more than one that year. Not sure why. And for Fleer, I got the 9. I've tried to get a few 10s on these, but they're hard too. The quality control just wasn't as good for Donruss and Fleer back in the early days. And here we go in 82. I am missing a card. There's a blacklist version where the Johnny Bench is not on the card. They don't know if that was the inked this after so many pressings came off, or if it was a malfunction or what it was, but it's hard to find those. They call it the blacklist version. I've never been able to buy one. I know a couple people that have them, but I've never seen one. I got the In Action in a mint, the sticker in a mint. And here's the 82 Donruss in a mint. Great card here. This is the 82 Donruss and the Gem Mint 10, Pride of the Reds. After the Reds kind of broke up after the 77 season, free agency started and all that. And Seaver came over to the Reds. And they got to play together for a few years. That's a beautiful card of Bench and Seaver. 82 Fleer and a 9 mint. And 82 Fleer also did a dynamic duo with Bench and Seaver. 83 I got in a 9. I've been trying to get that crossed over to a 10. I can't do it. And the 83 Super Veteran in a 9. Love the early picture Bench with his current picture. And then we got the 83 Top sticker in a 10. And another Top sticker in a 9. 83 Fleer in a Gem Mint 10. 83 Donruss in a Gem Mint 10. 83 Donruss Diamond Kings in a Gem Mint 10. And then the 84 Topps, Bench retired in 83. This is the regular Topps issue in a 9. He retired with Carl Yastrzemski and Gaylord Perry. And then there's a Top Tiffany in a 9, which had the white backs instead of the more grayer stock. And the 83 All-Star Glossies in a 9. 84 Fleer did a bench card, even though he'd retired, in Gem Mint 10. And they did one for retiring superstars in Gem Mint 10, a Bench and Yaz. Love that card. My wife's favorite player of all time, she's a Red Sox fan, is Yastrzemski. So that's one of my favorite cards, along with this one. This is the 84 Donruss. Living Legends, Bench and Yastrzemski retiring in the Gem Mint 10. So that is everything. Hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll cut this short now. It's been a long video, but thank you for watching. And Lord willing, we'll do it again. Thank you.